Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into the career and aspirations of someone pretty fascinating, Robert Domondon. And this isn't like your typical resume breakdown. We've got information about his strengths, about where he could grow. Yeah, and even a peek at some blind spots. It's like we've got his career playbook right here.
It's true, yeah, and it's a playbook that goes way beyond just, listing skills. It really highlights what Robert is like naturally drawn to and how he can turn that into like real impact. It's about smart choices just as much as it is about personal growth.
Okay, so let's dive into this right off the bat. AI,
Mhm.
healthcare, even art and photography.
Yeah,
It's like Robert's got a foot in every world.
right.
And there's this nurse intelligence network. Honestly, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Have you ever heard of that?
It's not sci-fi, but it is exciting. What I find so fascinating is how all of these different pieces come together because it screams someone who can thrive at the intersection of different fields. And think about it, that's incredibly valuable in a world that's practically begging for fresh perspectives.
Mhm.
And Robert's ability to bridge those gaps, especially between healthcare and I mean, that's where the magic
Yeah.
happens.
And get this, the document says that he was both a nurse and a physician.
Wow.
That's some serious dedication. But then it also mentions burnout. It's like a reality check. You
Yeah.
know, even someone who's crushing it in their career can hit a wall.
Oh, it's way more common than people think. And honestly, what's great is that this document doesn't just gloss over the tough stuff. It acknowledges Robert's drive, but then lays out like practical ways to make sure that it's sustainable. There's even a bit in there about combating imposter syndrome,
Oh god.
which let's be honest, who hasn't felt that at some point?
Right. Like that little voice of doubt never fully goes away. But then the document goes on about Robert potentially expanding beyond healthcare and with his skills. I mean, it feels like he could make waves in any field, maybe even globally. What do you make of that?
Well, the document specifically mentions AI-driven healthcare reform on a global scale. Now imagine combining that with the network that he's already built. I mean, that's powerful. There's even talk of him using AI for DEI initiatives, making healthcare more inclusive for everyone. I mean, that really stood out to me.
Yeah, it's like he's got this whole roadmap laid out for him. It's full of incredible opportunities, but it does flag potential blind spots, like spreading himself too thin. I guess it's easy to overcommit when you're passionate about so many things. It's about finding that balance, right?
Absolutely. And that ties into another point that the document brings up, which is marketing those incredible talents. It suggests that Robert should tailor his message for different crowds, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, someone with his range needs to be able to connect with nurses just as easily as he does with, tech leaders.
Right. It's like being a chameleon in a way, but not a bad way.
Yeah.
More like knowing how to speak the language of different worlds to get your message across. Speaking of which, the document even hints at him becoming a thought leader, using AI to boost creativity, which I find so intriguing.
What I find so interesting about that is that the document goes beyond just suggesting these things. It actually lays out concrete steps that he can take.
Oh wow.
Things like hosting webinars, teaming up with international groups, even creating specific courses. It's all about turning those big ideas into something tangible.
Yeah, and it's not like he's starting from scratch either. I mean,
No.
he's already got the Nurse Intelligence Network and those leadership courses that he designed. It seems like he's laid some serious groundwork.
He has, and this document really highlights the importance of building on what's already there. He's got these platforms that are primed for knowledge sharing and collaboration. So the question becomes, how can he leverage that for even greater impact? That's where things get really interesting. It's like he's standing on the launch pad ready to blast off.
Yeah.
But as we've seen, there's this balancing act, right? That drive to do it all while also avoiding, burnout. It makes you wonder how do you even choose the right projects when you're passionate about so many things? What stood out to you about that?
Yeah, it's that classic problem of too many good ideas, not enough time.
Right.
But you're right. The document really does address this head on. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't shy away from those potential pitfalls. Overcommitting, spreading himself too thin.
Right.
But what I found so helpful were the solutions that it offered.
Exactly. And they're not vague either. I mean, Prioritize ruthlessly, use data to guide your choices. It even talks about building a legacy through mentorship and education.
Huh.
It's almost like saying, yeah, yes, you have a ton to offer, but make sure that it's making the impact that you envision.
Which knowing his dedication to empowering others makes perfect sense. And this nurse intelligence network, it sounds like he's really tapped into something special there. What do you think the impact could be? Especially with this Nurse Intelligence 2.0
Yeah.
that the document mentions.
It's a perfect example of his ability to create a space for collaboration and shared knowledge. Imagine nurses and healthcare leaders globally all connected through this platform using AI to improve patient care. That's Nurse Intelligence 2.0, breaking down geographical barriers and using technology to amplify human expertise.
Okay. Now that's a future I can get behind. But before we get
Yeah.
too caught up in global impact,
Yeah.
let's circle back to that imposter syndrome thing.
Right.
The document touches on it briefly, but it's something that affects so many people,
Yeah.
even those at the top of their game.
Oh, absolutely. It's the ultimate silent saboteur.
Yeah.
But what I find so interesting is how the document frames action as the antidote to self-doubt.
Mm.
It's about Robert focusing on the impact that he wants to create rather than getting stuck in those internal what if spirals.
Right. It's about flipping the script, turning that anxiety into fuel for forward motion, and the document gives concrete examples, right?
Mhm.
Like mentoring, speaking engagements, sharing his journey, all these things that help him own his expertise.
It's not about, seeking external validation, but rather stepping into that leadership role authentically. It's about realizing, hey, I've got something valuable to share, and it's time to let that shine.
And speaking of sharing, let's revisit this idea of Robert expanding beyond healthcare. It seems counterintuitive at first, doesn't it? I mean, he's built this incredible reputation in one field.
Right.
Why not just keep building there?
Yeah, that's what I wrestled with too. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Right.
But then I thought, maybe his expertise isn't confined to just one field. It's like that saying, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
Maybe Robert's toolkit is far more diverse. Exactly. And the document reinforces that. Almost as if to say, don't let your strengths become, unintentional limitations. It gives some intriguing examples using AI to elevate leadership in other sectors, even merging it with DEI initiatives to make a real difference in areas beyond healthcare. It's about applying his skills where they're needed most, regardless of the field.
Right. It's almost like he could be this cross-industry expert, taking what he's learned in healthcare and using it to improve, say, finance or education, even government.
And think about the message that sends.
Yeah.
The transferable nature of skills. I mean, it's inspiring, really. It's about showing people that what they learn in one area can have a ripple effect across multiple domains.
I love the ripple effect, and it seems like Robert is uniquely positioned to do just that. He's got the AI knowledge, the leadership experience, the creative spark. But what about this artistic side of him that we see mentioned? Where does that fit into all of this? It feels almost unexpected.
That's where it gets really interesting. The document hints at Robert becoming a leader in this exciting, still developing world of AI and creativity. It even talks about him partnering with artists, museums, educational institutions. Imagine the possibilities. We could be talking about AI generated art exhibits, interactive museum displays that adapt to each visitor. It's about pushing those boundaries of what happens when technology and human expression collide.
It's mind blowing, right? We started with Robert's career path, and now we're talking about the future of art, the potential of technology to spark real change. It just goes to show, like, our own individual journeys, even the things that make us unique, can have a much bigger impact than we realize. Have you ever felt that way? Like your work could branch out in ways that you didn't expect.
Absolutely, and that's what I find so inspiring about Robert's story. It's not just about setting a goal and going for it. It's about being open to those unexpected connections. It
Yeah.
makes you wonder, like, what seemingly small passions of ours could could blossom into something something much bigger, right?
Yeah, it's exciting, but it can also be a little overwhelming, right? We're talking global impact, legacy building. Like how do we even begin to apply those lessons to our own lives? It can feel like a lot to piece us.
And that's okay. It's not about, replicating someone else's journey. It's rather about finding the bits that resonate with us. It could be as simple as reaching out to someone in a different field, exploring that creative hobby you've always been curious about. The key is to just start, to take that
Yeah.
first step.
Yeah, because as we've seen with Robert, sometimes those first steps lead to the most incredible destinations. Though speaking of destinations, there's one more point I found intriguing.
Yeah.
The document mentions Robert's personal brand and how he might need to refine his message for different audiences. Is it something we all struggle with? How
Yeah.
how do we stay true to ourselves while also connecting with people from different walks of life?
It's a constant balancing act, and
Well,
and maybe that's the most valuable takeaway from all of this. It's not just about achieving success, but about defining what success actually means to us.
Right.
For Robert, it seems to be about aligning his passions with his purpose, making a tangible impact on the world around him.
And maybe for the rest of us, it's about taking a page from his playbook,
Yeah.
recognizing the power of our own unique skills and experiences, and finding ways to use them to make the kind of difference we want to see in the world.
Exactly. It's about embracing those challenges, celebrating the wins, and never losing sight of the positive impact that we can have.
So for anyone listening who's feeling a little lost, a little unsure of their next move, let Robert's story be a reminder. Embrace what makes you different. Nurture your passions, and never be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You never know what amazing opportunities are waiting just around the corner.
Yep. Because sometimes the most incredible journeys start with a single intentional step.
That's it for our deep dive into the fascinating world of Robert Domondon. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving into the lives and lessons of the people around you.